Hey everybody, welcome back. So nice to see all of you. So do you remember last time in social studies we were talking about the three R's? Do you remember what those are? There's reduce, reuse, and recycle. And last time we talked about reduce. Do you remember? We talked about how we can use less of materials that we need during the day, like using bags instead of plastic bags and carrying our lunch in containers, so we use less plastic and make less trash. So we talked about reduce, and so today we're going to talk about reuse. So reuse, there's so many ways that we can reuse the materials that we use all the time. And one of the ways, I'm thinking, see this old spaghetti box? I wonder, is there something that I could reuse this for if I wanted to make something? I think I can make something out of it. Give me just a second. Almost done. All right, I did it. I made some character, and their arms are out, and you can see their eyes, and they're smiling, and they're happy about something, maybe pasta. So before, this was just a regular thing that maybe I was going to just get rid of and throw out. But when we reuse things, we get to use them another time and then give them another life. So they don't have to just go into the garbage. We can use them for something else. And there are so many things that we can reuse all the time. So I'm going to take us all the way on a field trip really quickly to a place that reuses things all the time. It's their job. You ready to go? See you there. All right, here we are. So right now we're in an antique store. Do you know what that is? An antique store is a store that is special because it collects all old things. An antique means something that has been used before and it's usually kind of old. And there's so many things. Look around. All of those things have been used by other people, and then this store is special because it lets them have another chance to be with other people. And then other people get to use them. Like, oh, you see that clock? That's a pretty cool clock. I bet somebody would love that one, right? Wait a second. Do you see those things above my head? Look like colanders or pots and pans, and I see, what else do you see? Oh, whoa, this thing is kind of interesting. I don't know what that is. Looks like maybe a tool or something. And I'm also noticing, oh yeah, down here there's a lot of boxes for you to put stuff in, and boy, there's a lot of good things in here to look at. But that's the beauty of an antique store, is that, or even a thrift store, those are also similar. Those are things that are not usually as old as antiques, but they also take things like furniture and all the things that you might see in here that people are done with, so then they don't have to be thrown away. Isn't that special? So I'm going to show you some things that I have gotten from some antique stores, okay? Here, I'm going to give you a look. All right, we made it back. So now I'm going to show you some of the things that I have found at antique stores before. So this is a colander that I found a long time ago at an antique store. And a colander is like, do you see it has the holes on the bottom? It lets you wash things so then the water can come through and then the things inside get clean. But I don't always use it for doing that. Sometimes I use it for just like this, holding fruit and keeping things in one place in the kitchen. So this used to be somebody else's and now it's mine because they were done using it. Now I'm taking care of it and it's in my life. And this is how I choose to use it, to hold things like that. So it can be different rules sometimes when it's yours. Another thing, this is very cool for me because I really like locks. This is a really old lock that I found and it even works. The secret is though, I don't remember the combination, but my brother does. He figured it out. So this lock works and I get to use it for things, only if I remember how to open it though. But this is something that I found at an antique store a long time ago, and now I have it. I've been taking good care of it. And I also found this, I didn't find in an antique store, but this was an old coffee can that when I was done using it, it was empty of course, and then I use it because I like to paint a lot. So I keep all of my paint brushes in here. And instead of just throwing it away, I realized that I could keep it because it was good for another thing. So that's what I've been using for a long time also. And this one, this is a really, really small and special hammer. I don't know if you can see it so well. And because I like the things that I build also, because I like to do a lot of things with art, sometimes I have to nail things that are very small with really, really tiny nails, and a regular hammer is too big. So I remember seeing this one in an antique store, and I said, I think I'm going to take really good care of this, and I have just the job for it. So that's been really helpful for me too. And also, sometimes in antique stores, you can find really special artwork too. I remember finding this one too. So this was somebody else's a long time ago, and they were done using it, and then I was able to see it and say, for me, that's brand new and it's wonderful. And I was so surprised that somebody was done using it, and I was ready to take good care of it, and I've had it for a long time. So those are some of the things that you can find in antique stores. And remember, I also talked to you about thrift stores. I know it can be kind of confusing. An antique store usually has things that are pretty old. Like all of these things, I don't know, sometimes you can tell. They've been around for a long time, but a thrift store usually has things that people can buy that are not so old, and a lot of the time they're clothes. So a thrift store I went to one time to look at some of the clothes that people were done using, and guess what this is? This is a shirt that I found at a thrift store. It used to be somebody else's, they were done using it, and then it wasn't dirty, and it wasn't didn't have holes in it or anything, so they knew that it was okay for somebody else to use. And I saw it and I said, this looks like a good shirt for me. All right, so I have one more thing to tell you about. So we just talked about things that can be reused because other people can buy them or have them and take good care of them. But another way that you can reuse something is by having materials that instead of throwing them away, you can make something brand new out of it. And I have something really, really special that was reused and somebody made, and I really want to show you. You ready? Let's go take a look. Hey, so look at this. This is a lamp. And do you know what's really special about it? You can't quite tell, but if you look really closely, you'll see all the different materials are not like the materials that you see a lamp is usually made out of. Down here, and all these different parts. So this lamp used to be parts of a car. You see, these are the gears over here. This helps some of the motors in a car run. And it's very heavy because those materials are really very, very heavy. And all of these different parts used to be inside of a car. And all the way up here on the top, this part used to be, you know how cars sometimes have music in them? You have to have a speaker that plays the music. And this used to be that. So this whole lamp used to be the parts of a car. So when they were done with the car, because sometimes when cars don't work anymore, they have to crush them up or they get rid of it because it's not working anymore. But this person found these different parts and kept them, and then they knew that they could maybe make something new out of it. And looks like they did a pretty good job. And it even works. So now it's your turn. So you get to go and hunt in your house to see if maybe you have anything that's an antique, that's pretty old, or something that has been reused before that used to be somebody else's. Or maybe you could find something that you can make. Like, remember the spaghetti box that I was about to throw away, but I made it into something? You could even find something like that out of a material and make something new. So let's see.